Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and I'm on the road this week, so my video is coming to you from a renovated horse barn in Ontario, Canada. I'm here with a reader of the Recording Revolution, Richard. He's got a home studio, invited me out to spend some time, work on his studio, kind of do an overhaul, and try to help him get a great sound out of the gear they're using here. And so we spent the whole day working on drums pretty much today, but we did some cool stuff, and it was making me think about something I really wanted to kind of mention on the blog, and this is a great opportunity to do it. That if you're frustrated with the sound you're getting, whether it's a drum kit sound, whether it's your guitar tone, whether it's your vocal sound, right? There's so many things that could be wrong, right? Maybe you're just not good at recording drums, so maybe you need to get better. Maybe you need to get a little more education and training. Maybe you feel like it's the wrong equipment. Maybe it's not the right mic for your voice. Possible. Maybe it's just not the right technique or the mic placement. Maybe you've got the right mic, but you're just singing into it too close, or your drum kit's not mic'd up well. There's a million things, I guess is what I'm getting at. There's a million things that could be changed about your situation to get a different sound. But instead of freaking out about, do I need new mics, or do I need to build something new in my studio, or do I don't know, change out the preamps, new converters, I need a new DAW. Sometimes people buy a whole new piece of software thinking that's going to somehow change their sound. I'm telling you what, that's a whole nother blog, can't even go there. That's not your problem. Your problem might be that you just need some spring cleaning, or like a whole studio overhaul in terms of the way you're thinking about your stuff. Maybe you're always micing your drum kit the same way, or you're always using the same mic on your vocals, or you're always micing up your guitar cabinets or your acoustic guitars, or whatever, the same, and you're doing these small tweaks, swapping out gear, looking for that holy grail signal chain, which doesn't exist, by the way. But maybe you just need to take an afternoon or a Saturday or a weekend and just reassess everything. What do I have hooked up? What am I using? Maybe you've collected a few pieces of gear, so you have a few things, okay? And you're just reassessing everything. And it's basically what we did today. Is we come in, I'm coming into Richard's studio, he's got all this equipment, he's kind of collected, and they've got the drum kit mic'd up, and they've got their stuff set up the way they want it, and he's playing a mix, and he's saying, this is what we're getting, this is what it sounds like, this is the way we have stuff mic'd up. What do you think? And the first thing I'm realizing is, you know what, we need to move the drum kit. The drum kit's tucked in this corner here. He's got a nice big open space. We need to move the kit out of the corner and into the center of the room, where the ceiling is at its highest, so we have fewer reflections against the walls, against speakers and equipment and stuff. We just moved the whole kit, spun it around, moved it, I don't know, 7-8 feet away from where it was. Totally had to rearrange where they had things set up. But instantly, we had fewer reflections. The drum kit was starting to sound a lot better just in the room, right? And then the way they had the overheads mic'd wasn't ideal, but they were trying to get the best sound and do small tweaks with the angles, but with a certain overhead setup. And I introduced something totally different, a few different things. We tried 3 or 4 different options. I said, what if we try something totally different with your mics? Let's just try something totally different, out of the box, to help them as an outsider, since I don't use their gear, kind of just come in and think about things differently. We took his collection of mics and just swapped them in and out. You know, the mics they were using for drum overheads, said, let's not use those for drum overheads. Let's use what you're using for your vocal. We'll do a mono drum overhead. It's a great mic you have. It's probably your best mic. Let's throw that up in the overhead. Forget the stereo pair. Who needs that? Get your best mic, throw it up there on the top, right? We tried that, got a great sound. We also wanted to try another pair of mics he'd never used. They were still in shrink wrap. He's like, well, I don't ever want to use these. I don't think they're really any good. Had you used them before? He hadn't. He was curious. Let's bust them open. Let's see what we have, right? We did a whole clean sweep in terms of thinking about using his equipment in his studio on his same stuff. So the same equipment he had, same instrument, is the same drum kit, same room, same DAW, same everything, preamps, nothing changed. We just mixed and matched things and used them for different purposes. What he thought was a good vocal mic, we used for drums. What he thought was a good drum room mic, we used for a kick drum mic. I just rearranged everything, and we just tried stuff. Some of it didn't sound great. Some of it was, you know, hit or miss. You could take one or leave one, and we picked one. But at the end of the day, we got a totally killer drum sound. It's the best stuff we're getting out of his studio that he's gotten in, and he's really excited, and we're just at the beginning of it. We're going to do a lot more, but it was making me think that you may be in a similar situation. Maybe you only have 1 or 2 mics. Maybe you only have 1 mic pre or 1 audio interface with the same pre's. Maybe you don't have that many options, but maybe you've done your vocals on the same mic forever, and you've got that one random SM57 that you've never picked up to use on vocals because you think it's just for guitar amps. Why don't you pick that up, throw it on your mug, and try it? Or swap it. Take your good vocal mic, throw it on the guitar amp. Or if you've always done a stereo overhead on your drum kit, why don't you take your really nice vocal mic, if you've invested in one, or your favorite mic or whatever, and throw that up as a mono overhead. And forget the stereo mics. You won't have any phase issues, and you might have a better sounding drum kit because it might sound better on that mic, you know? Just whatever you've never done, do it. Try something that you think is weird, even if it's rearranging your studio, even if it's moving your desk. Maybe your speakers are in the absolute wrong place. Maybe your drums don't sound great where you've got them. Maybe you're singing the vocals in the middle of the room because you think it's the best spot, but you should just move into a closet with some clothes. You can see where I'm going with this. Just try something totally different with your same gear in your same room. Just swap things around. You might not be using your stuff the most optimal way you can. And just coming here today, it just showed me we're at the beginning of a lot of overhaul, but you don't need new stuff. You don't need a high-end room. You just probably need to rethink everything you're doing with your stuff and start from the ground up and try something you never tried before. You might be really surprised, and you might stumble across a beautiful setup for your vocals, your drums, your guitars, whatever it is that you'll love from here on out. And you'll be glad you did. You're going to get more out of your money, more out of your stuff, and you'll learn a lot in the process. So try that the next time you sit down to record. Just do some rearranging, swap things in and out, do something completely opposite from what you've been doing. And let me know if it works. Let me know if you stumble across something. Shoot me an email, comment on this video or on the blog, and say, hey man, this totally worked. And I'd love to hear it. I'd love to be excited to see if you're getting some of the results that we're getting up here in Richard's studio in good old Canada. So that's all I got for you guys today. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you on another video in the future. Take care.